Hey all, it is Colston here with your Wednesday neurology update. I saw the NP at my neurologist's office today to talk about the results of the EEG. Not real conclusive to anything necessary anyway. And I also met with the neurosurgeon this afternoon. So this morning, the appointment, we focused on blood pressure, and it was high. And it's usually high when I go to the doctor's office. I work with docs, but yet I still have this like, oh, I'm at the doctor's office. And, fear of the unknown, anxiety, blah, blah, blah. But I guess there's been kind of a consistent rise in the blood pressure. So doc is going to prescribe a medication to help bring the blood pressure down, which also is a medication that's used to help with migraine. And Maui, go, go, go. Okay, say hi. Really? You say hi? Hi. Hi. Okay. So that I will pick up when it's ready at the pharmacy, and also provided me a sample of a med specifically for migraine, and has encouraged me to take it as soon as, even if I have the thought of, I think I'm going to have a migraine today, to go ahead and let it dissolve on my tongue. And she says it should work in about 20 minutes. That'll be an amazing thing. Not that I want a migraine, but if it's going to happen, I'm glad I have that med on me all the time. Also, with the blood pressure, there is sometimes visual impairment that can occur with high blood pressure. So the idea is we'll try that med out for a couple months. I will meet with her in 2 months to discuss if that has helped to relieve any of the visual issues that I'm currently having. I would love for high blood pressure to be the only thing, because it's treatable, the only thing that is causing this visual impairment for the last 4 months. So fingers crossed, toes crossed, I don't know, eyes crossed, whatever you got to cross for me would be awesome. So this afternoon with the neurosurgeon, I got to say, this guy was killer. So I tried to tell him, like, I know at some point, maybe 15 years ago, I had an MRI. I don't remember what hospital I was in. The very basic of information, and the dude goes, let me check something. Types it on the computer, boom. We have the MRI images and CAT scan from 2010. So apparently it was 2010 when I had my very first episode of a complex migraine. So we actually got to look at the films together, both current and 12 years ago. So the interesting thing is the meningioma, the tumor that was found, is made of, cells. It was present 12 years ago. Not sure anybody actually told me that. So we looked at it, we measured it, the whole deal. So 12 years ago, it was 1 centimeter. 12 years, fast forward, it's 1.5. So facts being, it has grown, but it's grown very minimally in 12 years. So we also went through every part of the brain together. What does what? This function here, this connects here. Let's see if there's any way that it is pushing or intruding on any of the important pieces that run through your brain, and nothing. So currently, it is not big enough to be doing any damage. He did say, can I say decisively, Maui, stop, that it's not causing any of your symptoms? No, but it seems very unlikely, which is the same thing that my neurologist said. So I love that they're both on the same page, and what he did say that he would recommend is doing MRIs every year, and then kind of for the next 5 years, and kind of comparing if there's any more growth. So here's the interesting thing. Well, I mean, it's all interesting because it's, my brain. So it's interesting to me anyway. But when we were talking about what can cause a meningioma to grow, and he said number one is estrogen. Yeah. So I was able to talk with him today. I talked with my MP this morning because I am scheduled for a surgery to remove all uterus parts. A cool laparoscopic robotic surgery. I mean, part of me wishes I could be awake to see the robot work, but the reality part of me is like, oh, hell no, put me out. So it seems like that perhaps, as we thought, oh, Maui, it is not the anesthesia necessary that caused this. It just happens to be maybe timing coincidental, and then they found the tumor incidentally. And so I think, so I'll be doing that in November, and that will take care of the excessive bleeding that I have been working with my hormone doc, who's out in New York through Folks Health, to combat since, I believe, December of last year. And so, yeah, that excessive bleeding diagnosis will get to go away when those parts go away. So the cool thing that may happen over the next 5 years, not having anything in my body that creates estrogen, is it may stop the growth of the meningioma completely. So I felt very, very relieved talking with him. Very much appreciate his, this is this part. He had a brain. He had a model of a brain in his hand. He's showing me, how it's rotated for the MRI, and didn't talk to me like I was an idiot. So that was awesome. And the cool thing is when we're talking about estrogen and we're talking about testosterone and the hormones, and never once did he have to use the word trans. He just said the parts of your body that create estrogen, I mean, if those are going to be gone, it's most likely blah, blah, blah. That was a pretty cool thing. Like it was a non-issue today because the issue was about my vision and the meningioma in my brain. So that was very, very refreshing. The amount of time he took with me, very, very awesome for this consultation. So the plan moving forward is I will get on the blood pressure medication, I will have the migraine medication, and I will also be checking my blood pressure a couple times a week and actually keeping a log. And then every year I'll do an MRI, and what he said is, if it took 12 years to grow 0.5 centimeters, we may not see any changes the first, second, or third year that we're doing the MRI, but those critical years are going to be 3, 4, 5. And if there's any growth, then we can have a conversation about treatment. So right now we're going to try the the surgery in November to take care of the excessive bleeding and go from there. So it'll be cool to wait and see if there's zero growth over the next 5 years because the estrogen producer is gone. So anyway, that would be awesome. And I also know that when I first started testosterone, my migraines completely decreased in frequency, which was way awesome. So wish me luck. We're going to go on some blood pressure medication, and I'm hoping it will help alleviate whatever's going on with my vision. I think that's all I have. But if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I will try to answer them I'll answer them on the next video. So that is the end of Neurology Wednesday. Have a great night.